Hi, welcome to my YouTube channel, and this is a very special video because it is going to be a podcast with my professor. He's doing his master's in applied computer science,
Yep.
and also he have a lots of talent in the field of 3D painting. And he teaches us like Python, web developments, and C++ like subjects. So this podcast is going to be very interesting. We are just going to know about his journey and some interesting questions about AI and future computer science. So, tell me about your journey as a student in US.
Okay. My parents came to the U.S. in 1984 as international students,
Okay.
graduate students at SIU Carbondale. They had me at some point. And then I grew up as, an Asian in America, which is not too many in my hometown. There are a few, but none in my grade. So I was the only person who looks like this in my grade. But there's a few other diverse people as well, so it's not that bad. And growing up, it was pretty normal, I would say. I guess what's not normal is I can speak Chinese to my parents.
Okay.
And that was a little different than other people, but otherwise I would say a pretty normal childhood
Means
here.
you know Chinese better?
No, not better. English is my first language, but I
Okay.
do speak Mandarin, and I cannot read Chinese, but I can speak Mandarin.
Okay.
Yeah, and growing up here, it wasn't too different. I went to university, went to University of Missouri, St. Louis,
Okay.
and got my degree in criminology, criminal justice.
Okay.
Yeah. After that, I went to graduate school, but did not finish that one. Okay. I think it's important to say that because many people go to school, but also many people don't finish all the time. And that's,
Yes.
it is a waste of my time to do that and not finish, but it happens in people's journeys.
Yeah.
So I did not finish an educational administration degree. I'm thinking about going back, but I'm not sure yet. And then I went to work as a property manager for 10 years.
Oh, 10 years and you have lots of experience in it.
Pretty decent experience in several different businesses in property management,
Okay.
including my own. I still have my own, obviously. And then I went, if you don't know this, it's okay, but where I'm from, the property management business is not easy.
Yeah.
And it started getting a little too difficult
Okay.
to do on a large basis. So I decided, and I had met my girlfriend at the time, she was doing a computer science degree here at SEMO.
Okay.
And so we're like, if she can do it, I can do it. So maybe it's a good time to get out of property management and go do computer science. So I left property management, came to do computer science. I took the applied computer science program here, the master's program.
Oh.
COVID happened. I graduated, got a job working at a local company here as a administrator, IT administrator.
Okay.
Within a year, though, I had moved back over to here at SEMO to teach.
And why you choose teaching as a career?
In my teaching, like students, we have a similar schedule, which is better. Like I mentioned before to my wife, an average person works 2,080 hours a year, okay?
2010.
2,080, 28, okay? That is a full year, maybe some vacation, 2 weeks vacation in there, but 40 hours a week, okay? And that's fine, that's most people. You have some crazy people, like my accountant friend, who did public accounting. He worked probably 3,000 hours a year. If you think about that for a second, that is 20 or 50% more every week. The 60-hour weeks instead of 40-hour weeks. And so he's working a lot. And then you do the math on what an instructor teaches, a faculty member. Yes, they're here working at the school.
Yeah.
Or they're involved in events. Maybe they're off hours too. I answer emails at night.
Yeah.
And that's considered working. But your hours are much less. I get summers off.
Yeah, someone's.
And I get 1 month for winter also.
Okay.
And I mean, I choose to work and teach over the summer as well and learn for myself too.
Okay.
I'm still learning how to become a better advisor and all the other parts here.
Yeah.
There's a lot to being an advisor, and it can be difficult. I've been taking the universities offering courses and certificates. I've been taking those as they come. There's many of them. But even so, it's still less hours than a normal 9-to-5 job, right?
Yeah.
And you come, you teach your classes, you have an emergency, you don't have to ask permission to leave. You just go. So it's pretty nice. Teaching is not bad. I know people who teach aren't paid as much, especially in computer science. People who can do Python and do coding, they earn much more than an instructor or professor ever will. That's a problem within the government itself too. The government doesn't pay their computer science people as much as the businesses do.
Yeah.
So it's hard to attract those people, but they still get them.
Yeah.
It's just an interesting issue, but teaching, I feel relaxed. And so I see some of my close friends, they all, have a lot of stress and they drink a lot of beer because they're stressed. And then that's bad for their health also. A lot of stress is just bad for your health. And I have a little stress teaching classes and keeping up with my baby. The baby's the big stress right now. But in general, teaching is much more relaxed than any other job, in my opinion. I don't feel stressed.
What do you think? What sorts of things are difficult for international students to adapt in US?
International students have many cultural differences. There are a few differences between Chinese and USA culture. There's actually a lot of differences.
Yeah.
Other countries and places, there's many other differences too. Like in just, I've seen like European cultures, they are closer. Like they do the kiss thing whenever they hug.
Yeah.
I don't do that. Certain things, like you have to give a gift to your professor in China. That's not a thing here. I'd love that, but it's not. I don't expect it. And it's like that's not a thing that it happens here in the U.S.
Yeah.
And so whenever my wife was giving our professor some gifts, I was like, "You shouldn't do that." He says, "I can't take this legally." It could be seen as a bribe for a grade. There's definitely, to excel as an international student in the U.S., you should branch out, make some American friends, come towards some American events, see what it's about, right? And but I would say it is important to have at least some connections to some American people, even if they are American-born, but are American-born Indian, American-born Chinese, like myself. That helps a lot, especially for coming as and adapting to American life. And maybe you have a question about one little thing. You just don't know any better. And you're only around other people from your own country. That's a problem I see. I saw this problem when I worked in property management.
Okay.
I was in charge of 100 Chinese students.
100?
Yeah, that came and lived in our property.
Yeah.
It was an apartment. It was run almost like an old, okay?
Okay.
A residence hall. But the problem was a lot of these Chinese students didn't interact with other people. They only interacted with their own other Chinese friends. And then they never got used to certain things. They thought some things were okay when they were not. One girl, she got arrested because she was trying to do something that was illegal here. And she was trying to bribe someone, I think. Yeah, it's very wrong. But she didn't know better because she was 18 and new to the country, first time away from home.
Yeah.
All these problems. So.
Do you have a good bicep and tricep?
Oh yeah, I lift weights. Right now I'm lifting a lot of baby. Every day, 30 times, maybe more. But yeah, I used to work out, used to weight lift. I did. This is long ago. When I was 16, I got my black belt in Taekwondo.
Oh.
Okay, so I did do some work on my physique back then. I have not kept up with that.
What do you think, from your perspective, is computer science engineer is going to dominate the world?
I think that they'll be the backbone of the world. They'll be, how is the world all connected nowadays? Everything is computers, programming, and engineers, technicians, right?
Yeah.
Anything breaks, you have to call IT support, right?
Yeah.
You need something fixed, you need someone to go in and fix that. That's electrical engineering more than computer science, but it's still work to do. Anything that you need to interface with a program, that's all programmed, right? That's made by programmers. Maybe a team of programmers, maybe modules and such. It's all integrated in. But as such, that's why we have such a strong IT, or not IT directly, but software engineering, development, all those computer science fields. Because there's many directions for computer science. There's, of course, the cool software developers, and then all the programming people who develop new programming languages. Those are high level programmers. But then you have people like me. When I graduated, I didn't touch programming at all. And my degree was in applied computer science, which is programming. But I worked as IT support for a local company, because you have to remember, you are there to help the least capable person. These people did not grow up with a computer, right? People your parents' age, for example, they're still working, but they did not grow up with a computer, or things change very fast, and the way they've done things has not changed very fast in a long time. Sales, it's still sales. It's how you sell something to another person. That concept has not changed in thousands of years, right? But there's things that have changed about it. How you integrate or manage your sales. That is the computer side. You have to be able to support those people as well. If you support those people, the business keeps running, the money keeps flowing, you keep a job. Sure.
What do you think speech language, as coding language, is going to be future?
The future. Well, the importance of learning a programming language is learning the concepts. Object-oriented programming language, OOP, is what we teach here at CIMO with Python. That is a very good introduction, because Python is generally readable as a programming language, and it's useful too. In the news these days is ChatGPT. Right?
ChatGPT.
That is run by Python. All data analytics can be done with some sort of Python as well. So Jupyter notebooks. It's very useful. So it's extremely good to learn Python as a base, in my opinion. We teach a class here at the graduate level called Advanced Programming Languages. That teaches you the concept of how to write your own programming language. Now, we started doing that, but it is a difficult class, in my opinion. That was the class I did the worst in during my time here. But it was a class that teaches how to write a programming language. That is very advanced and very useful. Dr. Bob is a great teacher for that.
In our university. It means by taking that class, I can able to write my own program.
Yes.
Like Python.
Yes.
Oh, it's awesome.
It's awesome. It's difficult. It's very advanced, but it's very cool.
And I forgot, what do you think about our university?
Our university, in my opinion, it's a great university for the region. And we get many people also from the international side of things too. We used to have more people like my wife who are Chinese international students. Due to bad relationships between some countries, maybe, that some of those have fallen off. But still, I think it's a great university for people to learn. In this region, we're pretty unique, because we actually have a long history here for the U.S. As a teaching institution, longer than some cities have been around.
I think in March it's 150.
150th birthday of the university. That is a long time. Think about some countries and how long they have existed in their modern form. Many are not even that 150 years old, right?
Like Pakistan.
Or the other example was modern China. That didn't exist for 100 years yet. So it's interesting to have this institution. It's not the oldest institution, of course. There's always very, very old teaching places like Oxford in the UK, but it's old for our region. We are not a huge city here, so I think it's a great opportunity for the people of the area to come and learn. It gives you a different version of American life than the big cities too.
Yeah, as you mentioned, ChatGPT.
Mm-hmm.
People think that it's a revolutionary movement. If like ChatGPT introduced, he can do a very difficult work like
Yes.
simply.
Yeah.
What is your perspective about them?
So ChatGPT is an AI model that takes and does stuff up to 2021, I believe, maybe 2020. It has limited information after that. However, it's very, very good at what it does. If you ask it a question, it'll give you an answer. It is a chat GPT, so it won't do everything for you. You have to ask questions to it and give it prompts and stuff. Now, people are scared of this because educators have a big fear of plagiarism.
Yeah.
The paper,
In our university also.
yes, the paper, the essay is kind of in fear of being plagiarized all the time, and it's hard to detect. It can be hard to detect.
Yeah.
If you just read through it and change a few words, make concept correct. ChatGPT is not always correct, though, as you may have seen before.
Yeah.
I saw one where they were talking about how mammals laid eggs.
Okay.
Yeah, that's wrong. That mammals give live birth most of the time, except
Yeah.
for to monotremes. But that's okay. The assessment, and this is, again, people who are older have difficult times changing, and that there are things that are like accreditation standards that educators must adhere by, and how we assess things. That has to adapt. That takes time to adapt, though. But for myself, I only have a few assignments which require writing things in an essay format, very few. Instead, educators need to adapt and change to other models. The point of higher education, where we are, is to learn more, learn how to learn. If you just use ChatGPT, of course you could pass every class,
Yeah.
but have you actually learned? No, right?
Yeah.
Maybe you learned how to use ChatGPT. I mean, that's not a bad skill either if you can use that to your advantage in the future. But have you learned how to learn? That is what the fundamental question is. So learning is still important. People who are scared of ChatGPT, we talk about this a little bit in class, but they might be modern Luddites. Luddites are people who are scared of technology.
Okay.
There was a division of people, I don't remember everything, but back in the day, who were scared of technology that was coming to take away their farm work. Because this was a machine that did stuff for them, automatic plows, something like that. So they were anti-technology. There are many issues with AI. Art is the other topic lately.
Oh, yeah.
AI art. It just depends on what you
Yeah.
need. People always want a human-created art somewhere.
Yeah.
Okay,
It just
may not be
like
everything.
anyone.
If you look at this room, which the camera may not see, but there's artwork on the wall that really just looks like Adobe.
Yeah.
But that could be generated by ChatGPT, and I don't think anyone would be upset about that.
Yeah.
I'm not ChatGPT, but one of those things.
But yeah.
ChatGPT is at its core a chat, so it's a conversation. So there's people who are scared of it. I would say if you're scared of it, you should also try to learn a little more about it, and maybe try to learn how to use it too.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like many people support the invention of AI, but some of the famous people like Stephen Hawking was dead, but he says in book that AI can destroy the human civilization.
We'll see how that works out. He also said, and you might be right, okay,
Yeah.
that contact with an alien race would probably do the humanity.
Yeah.
And that's probably true. Most first contact incidents have resulted badly. First contact of European people coming over to the Americas. We see where the Native American people have ended up today.
No.
Mostly not. It used to be a land full of Native Americans. Now it's a land full of people from other countries, including myself and yourself, right? But that's AI may be a problem for a lot of humanity's lower end tasks. Because right now, there's been the conversation that AI won't be what we think it looks like. To us, what do you think of when you think of AI?
We think that is more powerful than his brain is more powerful than human, and people think that if anyone is greater than some species, we are more intelligent than animals, and we dominate the animals. Then if AI is more intelligent than us, then why they don't dominate than us?
Yeah, that's a good question too. I think that concept is called the singularity, where everything starts becoming, when the AI learns how to make AI better, it starts accelerating. That's a concern. However,
visualized in the movie.
Yep. That's a lot of movies are on this. But I think the actual implementation of AI is going to be less interesting than that. It's going to be much more like a chatbot. That's how we have AIs implemented day to day. They'll be able to answer questions. They'll be able to do this and that. They'll be able to help us with repetitive tasks. It will be able to do this and that. We already have some of that. But if we can have a little more of that with AI, it'd be a lower end AI. What everyone's thinking of is like a super high end AI, like a
as visualized in the movies, that you have a emotion.
Emotion or what happens in an AI movie? The Avengers: Age of Ultron. He goes on the internet for 10 seconds and decides he wants to destroy the world.
He just collect all the data from the internet.
And then he decides humans are not worth it.
And nowadays the AI is not much developed. But what do you think it will be developed in the future as visualized in the movie?
I think it will become increasingly smart, but it will be kind of like a query based. So if you ask a question, it will find you the right answers based on finding information, statistic modeling, confidence reports on analysis and all that stuff, data analytics. But it will not be like, it won't be thinking on its own. It may make improvements, but it won't be, I think it will be more query based.
And I have a question that people think that if in future people lost a lot of jobs, like a truck driver, or a vehicles driver lost their job due to automatic cars and vehicles.
This is an economic and societal question. We are pushing this way. There's, in the recent news, Mr. Bernie Sanders, former presidential candidate, was pushing for a 4-day work week instead of a 5-day work week. So we want to cut off 1 day. That way we have more time with our families at home. Why do we do 5 and 2, right? It should be more balanced, right? 3 and 4 is more balanced, but 4 and 3 would be better, of course, right? And if we get to that point in society where people have so much automation, even the automations are automating each other. You have a factory that makes robots, and the robot factory decides to make better robots. That would be a societal question. Should we be pushing this way? What was the big event that happened in the last 3 years? COVID. What did happen from COVID? What was a big society push? Work from home, right?
Online jobs.
Everyone had many jobs pushed on being remote or socially distant, right? That was a huge society push. Computers, chip supplies were low. Office chairs got all bought. And it's interesting because all these people wanted some nice stuff at home too. And I think it's well worth the nice stuff at home. Treat yourself, buy a good computer. But the point is that was a big society push, and now society's trying to go back to in-person. The university is too. We're trying to push less online classes for online-only classes, I would say. We have been told to make more hybrid or in-person classes. I, myself, like teaching in person. Online teaching, people, I think, fail faster. Just by the way of they're not asking questions, they're not interacting, they're self-taught. Not everyone's learning style, this is the education side of me, everyone has a different learning style. Some people, like myself, learn better by seeing someone else do something. by talking and interacting with them rather than self-study. I'm not great at self-studying.
Oh,
Okay, so that's depends on what it is. I can learn anything, but I have to want to learn it, and that can be difficult sometimes. So, a society push to make people where we're losing jobs because AI is taking over. Maybe we shouldn't lose jobs and have more time. Maybe the pay would be better.